gentlemen, excited to hang out with you today. My name is Dr. John Belkowitz, and we're talking about concrete, which is neat from my head down to my feet. Before I get into the meat of this shtick, don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate your comments. Let us know if you have concrete questions and concerns. But let's get back to concrete, which is neat from my head down to my feet. So it's a Q&A Sunday. What we're doing today is focusing on a question that we've been getting, we got on YouTube, and we've been getting a lot of great questions, so thank you for taking the time, and we're answering them as quickly as possible. So this is from John Cerneva. I hope I'm saying your last name right, sir. You have sent us a lot of questions, shared our articles, and I appreciate what you do, and this is here to help you. Oh, here's the question. Ding! We had a slab recently with bond issues between the 1/4 inch or larger aggregates. What are the most common reasons for this? I want to go into the answer. I knew about this question, but I wasn't allowed to really look at the meat of it until today. This was a polished concrete floor where we grinded through the surface paste. There was a lot of debonding around the aggregate edges. Also, surface paste broke free, leaving about a 1/16 of an inch open above some of the aggregate. Wow. The floor is polished now, but has paste that is debonded and slightly raised from the aggregate in places. My understanding is the replacement or the placement contractor wasn't able to finish it without additional help from the general contractor. Okay, so you've got some surface pop-outs, and it sounds like you've got some surface scaling. You didn't say anything about map cracking or crazing, but I would imagine you might see that in some localized spots. And it sounds like a number of things could be happening here. And I don't want to say this is a definite. This is my guess without seeing any pictures, without knowing the mixes, and more information than what I've got right here. So normally when we see paste debonding from the aggregate surface and paste popping out or aggregates popping out of that surface, could be caused by one of four things really. So the first one could be freezing and thawing, where water gets trapped up underneath the aggregate, whether that was from excessively finishing or finishing an excessive amount of water into the surface, or hard troweling the surface before it froze and that water getting trapped up underneath. Or the aggregate could have had a very high absorption, contained a lot of water. The aggregate froze underneath that paste, and because it was so dense, it expanded and caused that paste to pop out at the aggregate interface. That could have happened with an interior slab, because most interior slabs start, especially for big warehouses, start out as exterior before the walls and the ceiling are put into place. So that could have been the first thing that happened. Second, dirty aggregate. If your aggregate has a lot of fines on it, it could have monopolized water or cementitious paste or pore solution or admixtures at that interface between the rock and the paste, creating a very weak bond, and what wouldn't normally be a problem for, let's say, freezing and thawing has now become a problem. Third thing is, you can get some expansion from some clay particles that could be the fines on those aggregates, and then that expansion, just like the freeze thaw, water gets trapped in, especially if it was hard troweled, and that water expands, causes the cement paste to pop off. And the third one, which is not as common, is alkali silica reactivity that gets created and has an impact on the concrete surface within the first 72 hours. And I might get a bit of flack for this. This might seem like an impossibility, but there was a PCA paper on this research done in 1979 by the Portland Cement Association, and we replicated those results. And you actually can have this ASR forming on that top surface, causing those coronas and pop-outs, within the first 72 hours of placing the slab. So those are your reasons, or some of the reasons that could have occurred. If you send me better pictures, I can give you a better estimate or guesstimate. And if you send me the mixes and a little bit more on the backstory, I can give you a better idea. And I just want to point out here as I wrap it up, because I'm going to get some fingers from Patchouli here in a second, everything that I talked about was that interface between the aggregate and the hydrated cement matrix. And there's always going to be a lower amount of paste and a higher porosity at the interface. And there's a great description on that by A.M. Neville in his Concrete Properties book, or Properties of Concrete, and I believe it's on page 315. Patchouli will put a link down below. That being said, I mean, there are some unfortunate realities that we can't get past. Now, if you're having those issues and it's a retrofit, you can use some densifiers to help stop it from continuing. But if it's already going on, it's going to be hard to fix, especially even if you keep grinding down, you're probably going to see the same problem. That being said, if it's new concrete, you can always use additives or admixtures to help that concrete be more resilient to those different processes. So hope this helped out. Let us know your thoughts, any more questions as they come up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't feel like I have to say that again since I already said it, so I'm probably going to get in trouble. Thanks a bunch, have a great day. Go concrete, beat asphalt.